And so one night after, a party in Bayero University, I came home, and at about 4 a.m., the security man in front of my house knocked the door and said that thieves had come into the house and packed all the musical instruments, because our investment that time was to buy musical equipment. They packed everything. Yeah, welcome back. The last episode I told you that the Lord helped me through the university. After my university education, I went to Kano to do my internship, a housemanship, at the Murtala Mohammed General Hospital. I wanted to have a closer encounter with patients, because in the teaching hospital, housemen are not given freedom. And so I needed to get closer and get more hands-on. And Kano provided that opportunity. Very busy hospital, one of the busiest hospitals in Nigeria, and went through all major departments to rotate during that period. And I learned quite a lot. Because I thought I'd enjoyed Kano, I also, somehow wanted to do the National Youth Service in Kano. And I was posted also to Kano. My primary assignment was at the Port Health at the Kano Airport. The 2 years of housemanship and NYC was the period that I veered off, the things of the Lord. Because as a houseman, I was staying in a 2-bedroom flat alone. As a youth corper, I was given a big house just on the way to airport, aviation quarters we call it, and my house was directly opposite the Bukavu barrack, opposite the Army Officers Mess. And we made friends with a lot of these young officers. And so their negative, influence, made me to veer off for a period. But as the Lord will have it, God, who was the mastermind of all that has been happening to me, did not allow me to go far. And so one night after, a party in Bayero University, I came home, and at about 4 a.m., the security man in front of my house knocked the door and said that thieves had come into the house and packed all the musical instruments, because our investment that time was to buy musical equipment. They packed everything. And it was not long after that, the Holy Spirit, through the mercy of God, ministered to me that, look, this was a very dangerous life, a very dangerous path I was taking. And so I withdrew from most of my friends. I became alone. And, I was attending the ECWA Church in Mission House in Kano. Even when we were going to parties, you go to party on Saturday, and Sunday morning you'll be there. I wonder what was happening. Maybe people were sitting by me with smelling alcohol. But when I got this inspiration that, look, the path you are taking is a dangerous one, I withdrew from all the friends. And immediately after national service, I decided to leave Kano, because I knew that if I had continued in Kano at that time, it would have been very difficult for me to separate completely from those guys. And so I sought for a job in Abuja here, and I was employed at the Federal Capital Development Authority and posted to Garki Hospital. We were one of the very few hospitals that started the Garki Hospital that time. It was in Abuja here in September of 1989 that during a men's fellowship meeting, ECWA Wuse too was still meeting in Garki village, but the present ECWA church building, the men's fellowship used to go there on Sunday evening to pray and to do a few other things. It was during one of the ministrations at the new site that without altar call, I came out, to be ministered to. I came out and I told them that I needed to be prayed for, that I thought I need a rededication, and I was prayed for in September of 1989 at the new site, now ECWA Wuse 2. And so many things happened to me after that. My life became more organized. I had peace to do, a lot of things. And the love for the things of God became so much. And in terms of a new direction, I started looking for a new direction. I was no longer satisfied with just being, that was just after 3 months of being in Abuja. I was not satisfied with just being a medical officer. So many people were comfortable in Abuja, buying land, doing all those things and the rest of them. And so I approached the authority that I wanted to go for postgraduate studies, but I was told that you can't go until you are confirmed. And God told me that go to the University of Jos, Teaching Hospital. The day I got there was the day they had interview to recruit new postgraduate doctors. Some people had interview earlier in the day, and by the time I got there, the interview had finished. So I went to the head of the department and told him, say, but you came late. I said I was not aware that there was going to be an interview. He asked for my papers, and I showed him. And incidentally, all the people that had interview earlier in the morning did not pass the stage of exam that I had passed. And so they had no option than to call the chief medical director to organize another interview for me. That's how I was told to come and report any day, any time. And I came back to Abuja and resigned and went to the Jos University Teaching Hospital. The residency training program took 6 years between Jos University and the University College Hospital. I spent 4 years in Jos and 2 years at the University College Hospital in Ibadan. Most of my spiritual development took place in Jos because the hunger, it's like I was hungry for everything. That I wanted to belong to every department of the church, including choir. And I sang in that choir at the ECWA church in Kano for almost 6 years. And so many other activities, just to catch up. I thought I had lost so much, so I wanted to catch up. It was during that period that I also met my wife, during the residency training that I met my wife there in ECWA church. And by the grace of God, we got wedded in August of the year 1993. The Lord helped me all through residency. And then when we finished the residency, because I was the first person in that subspecialty, I took it for granted that I was going to be employed as a lecturer, and I applied 4 times, and my application was turned down 4 times. But at the end of the day, the Lord, Holy Spirit revealed to us that our prayers have already been answered. That you apply 4 times and your application was lost 4 times. That is answered prayers. Go somewhere else. And the Lord took me back again to Bayero University in Kano. And the first day I got there, I was given appointments as lecturer 1, and the hospital also gave me appointment as a consultant. That is how we got ourselves back to Kano again. And this time around, I went back to Kano as a full-fledged Christian, as a man who already knew, his left and right, and so I wouldn't be, tossed, to and fro. The Lord helped us at the teaching hospital. We started, a fellowship, the Hospital Christian Fellowship, that was meeting in one of the classrooms. But after some times, they drove us from there. Or because I was living within the quarters, they started meeting in my house, and I didn't know that was big trouble for me. In one of the riots, that's how they invaded our house in Kano, but the Lord miraculously delivered us. So many good things happened to us. Promotion, was rapid. I got promoted to senior lecturer. Before I got there, I was already assessed as associate professor in the year 2003, before I left Kano. But because of what happened, I had no option than to leave Kano for Abuja again, and got, employed first with the National Hospital, but I was not comfortable with the National Hospital. So I went to Gwagwalada and also got appointment there. Thank you very much for viewing. I will continue my story from my employment in Gwagwalada next time. Thank you.
Viewers, September 1989. After he had fallen into bad company in Kano, an armed robbery incident in his house brought him to his senses. Assuming he was in the house when the robbers came, what could have happened? God spared him. That brought him to his senses. God led him to leave Kano, come to Abuja here, join the ECWA Church. In the meeting of the Men's Fellowship, he yielded his life to Jesus. That was the point that the real adventure with God started. All along, the finger of God had been guiding him. From the moment he gave his life to Jesus, we are hearing him. Life moved on to a higher level. Favor moved on to a higher level. You will hear him. You will hear him. Because of being highly placed at the teaching hospital, Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital in Kano, he moved the Christian Fellowship to his house and became a target. He will tell you the details of what God did, and then continue later about further developments in his career as God helped him. Again, viewers, you saw the plan of God coalescing, coming together. You went to Jos to look for a position, and interview had finished. But God planted destiny helpers. Let me see your papers. And the man saw that it is the kind of thing they are looking for. There is God. There is God. Humble yourself. Whoever you are, humble yourself. Get into a relationship with Jesus. He will never leave you where he met you. You can only go up from there. And you will hear more from Doctor, the rest of the clips that he will give us. Please do not forget to subscribe to our channel so that whatever we post, you are the first person to get it. Help evangelism by forwarding these clips to your friends. What you are hearing are life-changing stories. Thank you very much, and God bless you.